The rate of unemployment stood at some 9.5% in 2010. The trade imbalance was US $2,572 million without fuel, with imports increasing by estimated US 39 millions relative to 2009. The poverty level was at 16.5%, and to create jobs and increase standards of living, we must stimulate production through public policy. However, it has been an uphill battle trying to get government to implement policies that will facilitate growth in the manufacturing sector, which is a significant contributor to GDP, employment, as well as local and foreign exchange earnings. And in 2009, the sector employed over 76,000 Jamaicans, contributed some 8.3% to GDP, and paid approximately $13 billion in taxes and earned some close to $730 million in exports. Mindset informs policy. What I will say to you in terms of tourism, which we have been focusing on and pushing, tourism pays less than $2 billion in taxes with all the investments we have had in the tourism sector. Manufacturing in terms of revenue for government far outsees in terms of revenue that they collect from the productive sector. In terms of agriculture, it's about $600 million in revenue. The recent green paper on tax policy, which I see Etlin has left the room, or is she here somewhere? Oh, on tax reform is a prime example of policy clashing with the demands of the times. Because even though there is a need to reduce the high cost of energy, as well as the bureaucratic red tape to drive long-term growth, what is being proposed for the manufacturing sector includes: 1, the removal of some incentives, implementation of a custom administration fee, an advanced GCT that will negatively impact the cost of production and the cash flow to our manufacturers, especially the small ones. A 20% reduction in common external tariff, which I'm not sure how it pertains to WTO rules and regulations because it may be illegal, on competing manufactured and agricultured items, which has the potential to cause harm to these industries. Instead of building manufacturing, the government's focus seems to be on advancing the importation and trading of goods. However, I just want to state that if we continue to have an importation culture and we shut down the manufacturing industry, where will we get the foreign exchange to cover for all those imported products that we're importing into Jamaica? The amount of money being earned by tourism, foreign exchange in tourism, I think is somewhere in the region of $2 billion in foreign exchange, but it's estimated that 50% of that leaks back out of the country from studies that have been done. When you book a hotel for any of the major chains, you're actually speaking to an office in Spain or in the US. Your US dollars on your credit card stays in those banks. And at the end of the month, when they need to pay manpower and maintenance or the JPS bill, they draw a check for that. So what we need to do is find a way to bring the tourism industry, the agricultural sector, and the manufacturing sector all together, that we can get those linkages going.